All right, what is happening, everybody? This is Brandon from ComixKings. This is my segment of Tag Team Thursday. So as you guys know, we started over with Rod at 6:30. Then at 6:45, we went over to John's Comics with Kids. 7 o'clock, kicked off happy hour with Tony. And then 7:15, we just came from Dan's channel. And now we're over here. And I will be talking about DC's Infinite Frontier, which is their new format, their new direction, kind of setting the status quo for the DC universe for the next few years, hopefully. And let's just give a quick shout out to the chat real quick. We got PJ King in the house. What's up? John's Comics with Kids. Dan. Sorry, I ran a bit late. Okay. It's all good, bro. We got Todd Christensen, Gabby, No Good, Fable saying tag I'm it. Later, we're going to give it to Justin, No Good Comics. He's our closer, and he may go into extra innings. And with this release week being huge, I have a feeling he's going to be setting some records today. And then we got Rod the Rican, and of course, Justin's here. Tag Team Thursday continues. And then we got Hermino Reyes. What is up, my man? I don't think I've seen you in here, so welcome. So, DC Infinite Frontier, what we got to know about this is actually a result of Death Metal. Okay, so like I said, this is a continuity reset. DC's continuity's kind of been in a whack due to the event Death Metal. We can't really set the continuity straight when you're doing an event like that. And then we went into Future State. What Death Metal showed to us is we don't have 52 different Earths. We have infinite multiverses. Okay? So we have infinite multiverses. What does that mean? That is kind of a scapegoat for publishing. If a book is trash, you can just throw it in a different multiverse. See you later. Okay? So Infinite Frontier is a combination of what we did not like with Dan DiDio, because now Jim Lee's in charge and no longer Dan DiDio. And then it's also a combination of Future State and then what sold, what didn't sell, and what you're getting regardless whether you like it or not. Sorry if my camera's being a little bit wonky. It's a new camera, so I guess it's still getting used to whatever. But anyway, Diana at the end of Death Metal got recruited by the Quintessence. So that basically looked into the different multiverses, a peep into the future, hence the Future State. Okay, and what is up, Jen? And then PJ King, I have not read any of them yet because they're sitting here, but I will get to them eventually. And you guys know, if you guys want to give your thoughts, drop a question, it'll be on the show forever and ever and ever. So we got a look into all the different futures, which is Future State. Whether that's canon or not, we don't know yet. Okay, most of it, I would have to say, is not, because now we're coming out of this and Diana's back with the Quintessence, and it is saying, okay, Spectre is the narrator and we're taking Diana through a glimpse of everything because they want to recruit her. So it's like, hey, we are going to take you to look at all your friends. So if you decide to join us, you know that they're safe. So also, this book is very much formatted like all the DC 80th anniversary issues that you may have picked up. You may have started with Action Comics and Detective, then you didn't do anything else. And this is like an introduction to all the creative teams. So you got Bendis, Justice League, Batman, James Tynion, Wonder Girl, which is Joelle Jones, Green Lantern, Alan Scott, Teen Titans, Tim Sheridan, who I'm not familiar with, Superman, Philip Kennedy Johnson, Green Arrow and Black Canary, Joshua Williamson, Stargirl, no other than Jeff Johns. It's his character, it's his baby. And then you got the Green Lanterns by Jeffrey Thorne, who I believe also did the Future State stuff with that. And then you have the Flash. Joshua Williamson is writing this part of it, but he's not doing the bigger picture, which is kind of weird, because to me that puts like a kind of a lackluster trust in the new creative team of that. And then you got the epilogue, which is written by Joshua Williamson. He did a lot for this book, so if you're a big Joshua Williams fan, go pick it up. So like I said, this is setting the status quo, and it's kind of a warm feeling. It's a good feeling being grounded in some kind of normal continuity, because we haven't had that for a while, and it's just a good feeling. It's a good feeling, whether you like the changes or not. Okay, so we are starting. So now we're back. So the continuity is continuing as normal, but with stuff that we're throwing in that we're going to redo from DiDio's tenure, that we realized that basically everything from Years in Crisis just got undone in a hot minute. Okay, everything just got turned off. Boom. Okay, and then you got, of course, your Future State and whatever they had planned for you. So we're starting off with Justice League, and it's a Shazam, not Black Adam. So when the Justice League are saying, hey, look, that's Black Adam, they're like, no, it's Shazam. It's Shazam now. So, of course, he's going to be part of the Injustice League because, hey, he's getting a movie. The Rock is playing him, so we have to make him a character. So we're going to call him Shazam. Whether you like that or not, it's fine, I guess. I don't like it. I don't like the way that they brought it up. It's like, okay, you're Shazam, and you're going to like it. Who cares? And then after that, we go to the Batman story, which is James Tynion IV and Jorge Jimenez. And this is like kind of telling us about the Grifter, who's going to spin into Urban Legends, the miniseries. The Grifter is the character that they wanted us all to like that never got attention. He was first introduced in Batman 102. Thank you for the sub. Real quick, if you guys are not subbing everybody on Tag Team Thursday, make sure you guys go and do that. Make sure you guys give support to everybody who was a part of this. So the Batman book is basically introducing Grifter, but we actually have part 2 to the Batman coming a little bit later in this book. And then we go to the Wonder Woman book, which is by Becky Cloonan. This is where Diana kind of gets her new costume, and it's very badass. Why Diana is being recruited by the Quintessence is mostly because we have Wonder Girl, we have Yara Flores, and we have a bunch of the Wonder Woman mythos due to the movies. So while Jeff Johns is doing all that movie stuff, Didia's out of the picture. Now Wonder Woman can kind of grow as a character because she's the one female character that has been the most popular, but never been able to withhold her own series. So with that being said, we're just going to grow her character, which I'm all for, because I like Wonder Woman being a little bit more mythical, more Game of Thrones type. Justice League Dark was great. So that was written by James Tynion IV, a great team book. One of his better works in DC, in my opinion. So there you go. You're getting Diana in a different kind of sense. So I really appreciate that a lot. And then we get into the Wonder Girl story, which is written and drawn by Joelle Jones, whose art is amazing. The flow of this story was a little bit lackluster, but I've never been a Wonder Girl person, so it's going to be a hard pass for me too. Todd Christian says Batman was okay. Tina's improving on that book. I'm loving the new Scarecrow designs. I'm going to get to that because I have some very hard thoughts about that. Okay, and then you have Alan Scott's story written by James Tynion IV, and this is where he kind of comes out of the closet to his family, which is cool. And he shares a nice little moment, goes off on his own adventure, which will be spinning into that. Okay, so speaking of the Scarecrow design, okay, the Batman story is the one thing that DC is not going to touch because James Tynion IV is just introducing characters left and right. Okay, so it's like, let's not change that because James Tynion should not have really been on the book now. He was supposed to leave. John Ridley was supposed to take over, but no one really appreciated what he was doing. So they're like, hey, Tynion, you got any more characters? He's like, sure, I'm going to be on this book for as long as I want. And this is the new Scarecrow, which is kind of very busy. I mean, it's a cool looking design, but if you have to draw this every single page, that's why people don't like drawing Scarecrow. That's why people don't like drawing Poison Ivy. It's because they overcomplicate the designs. Now, I will appreciate if Scarecrow remains in that chair because the design's just too busy with the bird's nest and then all the wires, everything. It's just too much. You could have simplified it. You really could have simplified it. Okay, so then we got the Teen Titans Academy, Tim Sheridan. This is spinning off into their new academy. So it feels, if you guys ever read Avengers Academy by Christos Gage, I don't recommend it, but this feels very similar. So I'm not going to recommend this again. If you're a Red X fan from the cartoons and the shows, go for it. But again, I'm not going to sit here and recommend it to you because that's not something that I'm into. That's not something that I'm willing to read. Then we got the Superman story by Philip Kennedy Johnson, who's going to be the 10-year writer on that. He's also doing Aliens at Marvel. And this is basically saying, hey, Superboy is destined for doom because he's been through hell and back. So now Superboy is the poster boy for DC to torture. Okay, because he's had a bunch of relaunches, a bunch of changes to his character, and you can't undo that because Bendis did all those changes, and Bendis is still a tenured writer, so you can't really undo that. So you have to stick with it. So they're just going to torture him, make him a villain. It is what it is. I don't like that because I happen to like Connor. I happen to really like Connor. Then we got the Green Arrow and Black Canary story up next, and this is where Roy comes back from the dead, and he's like, I don't know how I got here. There's retconning Heroes in Crisis saying we're not even going to do this because Hiddeo's not even here anymore. So, hey, Roy's back. Everyone's back from Heroes in Crisis who was dead. So Roy, first thing he does is he calls Green Arrow and Black Canary, which is really weird to me. Why he would do that? He's not meeting up with Red Hood. I guess I just want Roy to kind of do his own thing at this point, which is probably not going to happen. I'm curious to see where that goes, but Roy's back. Everyone who did not like that in Heroes in Crisis, and all like those people who were bitching about it to Tom King, here you go. It wasn't Tom King, it was Danny Dio. Okay, so another change that we had, and then we got the Stargirl series written by Jeff Johns. Of course, it was fun. Todd Knock on art, and PG King. Danny Dio left a mess out of DC Comics continuity, but what do you expect? He is a Mets fan. Yes, I agree 100%. So the Stargirl series by Jeff Johns, Todd Knock drew it in his Todd Knockian style. It was great, but this is my first introduction to Stargirl, really, and it was fun. I'm not going to read her book, but it was fun anyway. And then The Flash, written by Josh Williamson, again, not the tenured writer. So what this is doing, Barry is now going through time. He's managing all of that stuff now, and he's leaving Wally as the Flash. Okay, so we're back with Wally. So if you look at the Flash's history, when Barry died after Crisis on Infinite Earths, Wally took over for a 15-year period, and this was like, okay, can I live up to Barry Allen? The answer was yes, but however, he was still really categorized as as your Barry Allen's replacement. Then Jeff Johns came in and ruined the Flash. He's like, no, I want Barry. And we got so much Barry Allen. And then we didn't know what to do because we got a new writer who didn't want to do any of that. So we just brought in a new Flash called a new Wally, who's now named as Wallace. Now we have 3 speedsters. One of them has to go, and it's Barry. Thank you. And after years of torturing Wally West, he is now the new Flash, and he has to kind of fix the fact that he killed people. Like, he killed people, but now he's back, and he's not on the Mobius chair anymore. It's everything to Dio, tortured him, put him through. We're not doing that. And now Wally is the Flash, which I like. I'm a Wally fan. So now it's more like, not so much can Wally and Barry be different. It's like, okay, now this is Wally's time to be Wally, not necessarily Barry's replacement, because Barry's not going anywhere. He's just in the Speed Force now, where he belongs, where he's always belonged, in the Speed Force, kind of being in charge of that. So you're going to see a little bit less Jay Garrick and more Barry Allen, in my opinion, and it's Wally time, so I'm excited for that. I'm a big Wally West fan. Okay, and then Wonder Woman turns down the Quintessence offer to sit on the high table, which leads us into the epilogue story, where it's like, okay, we were going to warn you about a threat, but we decided not to. The threat is Darkseid, who's coming back because the Justice League and Darkseid war is not a thing anymore, apparently, and Darkseid is back, and he's drawn in such like a Kirby way, and he kills the Quintessence, and he's just like stepping all over Spectre's neck. This is by John Romita Jr., who is probably just as washed as Cam Newton for all the football fans, and this is like horrible. Like, it's like he's trying to do what Jack Kirby did, just sucky at it. And I don't know. But that is like the looming threat is, okay, we're already doomed by Darkseid, but Darkseid is supposed to live out of DC continuity, he's supposed to live out of the multiverses. If you have Infinite, you're obviously intertwining a bunch of different versions of Darkseid into one. Okay, so that's going to be like the looming threat in the DC universe. Kill the Quintessence. So now who is watching the DC universe? Barry Allen, and I think Wonder Woman is going to have to once she figures out that everyone's dead. But that's like the big mystery of this all. Okay, so that is really DC's Infinite Frontier. Whether you like it or not, there are great things that I enjoy. There are not so good things. But anyway, I'm going to give it a few issues, and if I'm not enjoying it, I'll drop it. That's just it. It's refreshing. It's fun. Take it for what it is. But anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for joining me. Big shout out to you guys. Now let's head over to Justin at No Good Comics. All right, I will catch you guys next time.